All right, let's talk about a book that has pretty much turned the world of personal finance upside down for millions of people. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's not really a step by step manual, it's more like a switch that flips in your brain, completely changing how you think about money and wealth. So let's dive in.
So take a second. What was it? A penny saved is a penny earned? Go to school, get a safe, secure job? I'm willing to bet it was something along those lines. And that's exactly where this book kicks off, with the totally opposite advice the author got from his two dads.
So, on one hand, you've got his poor dad, his actual father, a super smart guy who followed the traditional script get good grades, find a safe job, climb the corporate ladder. But on the other hand, you have his rich dad, his best friend's father, who basically said, forget all that. He said to focus on financial literacy, on owning things that make you money, and on building your own thing. And this clash, this is what drives the whole book.
Okay, so what's the real difference here? I mean, what's the one thing that separates these two ways of thinking? Well, it all comes down to one single rule that, honestly, changes everything. It's all about really, truly understanding assets and liabilities.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Rich Dad's definition of an asset is so simple, it's almost revolutionary. Just forget all that complicated stuff you hear on the news. An asset is simply anything that puts money in your pocket, period. Think of it like a little money machine that you own, and it just works for you. And you guessed it, a liability is the complete opposite. It's anything that yanks money out of your pocket every single month. And that's the whole game right there. According to Rich Dad, your job is to spend your life buying assets and do everything you can to avoid liabilities. Sounds simple, huh? Well, simple doesn't always mean easy. Okay, hold on, because this next part is where a lot of people's brains kind of short circuit. You see your own home listed as a liability? Yeah, that's not a typo. The book's argument is that because your primary home is constantly taking money out of your pocket, the mortgage, taxes, repairs, it's a liability. An asset, on the other hand, like a rental property you own, that would be putting money in your pocket. And just wrapping your head around that one concept can literally change the game. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. See, the whole point isn't just about making a bigger salary. The goal is to get to a place where you don't have to work for money anymore. It's about building up that column of assets so they're the ones doing the heavy lifting, generating income for you while you sleep. So, have you ever felt like you're just running on a hamster wheel with your finances? You get a raise, but somehow you're still just as stressed at the end of the month? Well, Kiyosaki calls that the rat race. And it's a trap that he says is built entirely from that poor dad way of thinking. Let's break down what that actually looks like. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. Step 1, you get a job. Great. Step 2, you earn a paycheck. Awesome. Step 3, bills, taxes, you know the drill. Then step 4, you buy stuff, a nicer car, a bigger house, things you think are assets. But boom, they're actually liabilities. And now you need more money to pay for them, which means you got to work harder, get that promotion, and the whole cycle just starts all over again. It's exhausting. So how in the world do you break out of that cycle? Well, it all starts with a huge mental shift about what a job is even for. See, the poor dad philosophy is work to earn. It's all about that steady paycheck. But rich dad, his philosophy is work to learn. The goal isn't the salary, it's the skills you pick up along the way. Your job becomes your own personal training ground. And we're not talking about just any skills. We're talking about real-world, high-impact stuff like sales, marketing, communication, leadership, and of course, just understanding how money actually works. These are the tools that you're going to use to build your escape route, to create those assets that will eventually set you free. All right, so let's pull all this together. We've got assets versus liabilities. We've got the trap of the rat race. And we have this idea of working to learn, not just to earn. When you mix all that up, you get to the book's final and maybe most important mindset shift. And this is it right here. The real path to wealth isn't about chasing a bigger and bigger salary. It's about building a stronger and stronger asset column. I mean, think about it. Without financial know-how, a bigger paycheck just leads to bigger spending. It's not what you earn that makes you rich. It's what you keep. And more importantly, it's what you put to work for you. Okay, but let's be honest for a second. Is this book the perfect foolproof guide to getting rich? Not exactly. Look, its biggest strength is that it's super simple and incredibly motivating. But on the flip side, critics are right when they say it's pretty light on the actual how-to details. And yeah, it can kind of gloss over the very real risks involved in things like investing or starting a business. It's a fantastic why-to book, but it's definitely not a how-to book.
And you know what? That's totally fine, because that's why this book is still so massive. It was never meant to be the last book you read on money. For so many people, it's the perfect first one. Its real magic is that it acts as a catalyst. It's designed to shatter those old beliefs you have about money and just get you excited to start your own journey of financial education. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. After everything we've talked about, what's one belief, just one, that you have about money that might actually be a piece of poor dad advice you're still following? Seriously, think about it. Because just being able to name it, well, that's the first and maybe the most powerful step you can take on a whole new path.